States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Howard, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Amadis?
Here.
Mrs. Buckley?
Here.
Dr. Campbell?
Joe Bonifay present.
Mrs. Cook?
Here.
Mr. Means?
Here.
Mr. Rose? Mrs. Rule?
Here.
Mr. Spacuzza?
Present.
Mr. Sestovich?
Here.
We have 8 members present this evening.
Thank you, sir. On September 14th, the Bethel Park School District will be saying goodbye to an important member of our team, Jackie McLaughlin, who will be retiring as our administrative secretary to the superintendent. Jackie has been a valuable member of the Bethel Park School District family for the past 35 years. She began her career in 1978 as a noontime aide at Washington Elementary, where her children attended and where she also served as PTA president. Her time in the district led her to several schools, including secretarial substituting at the elementary and middle school levels, before she was permanently hired in 1983 as the secretary to the district's 8 directors of curriculum, working out of a modular classroom at William Penn. A year later, she moved to the administration building when the 8 curriculum director positions were dissolved to become the secretary for the director of elementary education, where she also had the responsibilities for the federal programs. Retirements and administrative restructuring eventually found her working as the secretary for 2 assistant superintendents for curriculum. In May 2005, Jackie was the natural choice for the role of administrative secretary to the superintendent, where she seamlessly transitioned and has proven to be a vital partner with our 3 superintendents for whom she has worked. Jackie has also been a valuable asset to me and to my fellow board members, as she is responsible for compiling, collating, and disseminating the board packets, fielding our numerous phone calls and email inquiries, forwarding messages, scheduling meetings, keeping the lines of communication open and information flowing freely. I'm not quite sure how we're going to manage without you, Jackie, because you make it all look so easy and seamless as what you do. Jackie has always been the consummate professional. As the secretary to the superintendent, she is oftentimes the first line of communication for callers to Bethel Park. And no matter how irate the caller is, Jackie never loses her cool. She handles everything calmly and professionally, no matter how verbally abusive the person on the other end of the line might get. I'm sure there are many things about Bethel Park that you will miss, Jackie, but I'm sure the one thing you won't miss are some of those calls on those days, especially when we have those school cancellations or delays and the folks who want to weigh in on whether or not we made the right call. I'm sure there were many days when you thought you had a no-win job, but I can say without a doubt that the Bethel Park School District has been the real winner in having you here the past 35 years. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, I would like to thank you for your 35 years of service, outstanding service, I might add, and wish you many happy and healthy years in your retirement. I'm sure you're looking forward to spending more time with Ken. I don't know, maybe not, huh? And your 3 children.
The question is, Ken, do you want her at home?
Including your 5 grandchildren. At this time, we're going to present you with a very small token, but a token nonetheless, and I'm going to read the inscription. And then Nancy, if you'll join me over there and unwrap that, and we can take it. The Bethel Park School District Service to Education Award presented to Jackie McLaughlin. By word and deed, your presence has enriched the lives of students and everyone you worked with, and served as an example to all. Thank you for your dedication to the Bethel Park School District. Please join us up here, Jackie.
We won't ask you to speak.
I do want to say just something very brief. Oh, a picture. My highlighter is running. Just very briefly, I can't believe that 35 years have passed by so quickly. And it's good to hear that I was an asset to the school district because I loved working here. And it has been a pleasure and an honor to work with each and every one of you. And I'll be back. Maybe I'll run for school board the next couple of years. Again, thank you all very, very much. And I'll stop in to see all of you.
Thanks, Jackie.
The administration and some of the staff will be honoring Jackie at another more private celebration to thank her for all that she's done for all of us. She will be greatly missed.
And while Jackie's finishing her thank yous there, Joe, you want to do our presentation on the new lunch program?
Thank you very much, Donna. Boy, is that a tough act to follow? What a great lady.
Don't even try, Joe.
No, I won't, Ron. What a great lady. I had the pleasure of working with her, and she keeps me on my toes, too. I appreciate having the opportunity to present some of the most drastic changes in our National School Lunch Program and that will affect Bethel Park. And one thing I want to make perfectly clear that in no way, shape, or form was these guidelines had anything to do with Bethel Park School District or Metz Culinary Management making any changes in the National School Lunch Program. This has all been initiated by the federal government in making our lunches more healthier for our children. What I want to show you on the screen behind me are some bits of the information that has gone out to the public. Excuse me. Vicki Flota has been extremely instrumental in helping me get information out to the public so that they're fully aware of the changes in our school lunch program. There was a letter that went through Alert Now that initiated the changes that are going to occur in our program. And that's the letter that just went out to all of the parents of the school district. So. While she's pulling up the next screen, I wanted to review what the changes are in the regulations. The new regulations for the Healthy Hungry Free Kids Act. The implementation, this is the first year of implementation. The district will have a potential of 6 cents more per lunch reimbursement coming back to the district. And the reason for that 6 cents is the additional costs that are going into the lunches for the fruits and vegetables. The one before that. The implementation requires a lot more than just a few changes. There's changes in the grains that are going to be required for the students, the fruits and vegetables. There's minimums and maximums that are required. And the changes are basically this year just for the lunch program. Changes to the breakfast program will occur next year. Why the new regulations? I think everyone's aware of the staggering national statistics where the epidemic of childhood obesity is nearly a third of the children in the U.S. More than 16 million children struggle with the hunger nationally. The key regulations for 2013 are, one, the fruits and vegetables are two separate components this year, and the fruit or vegetable must be on each lunch tray to be a reimbursable lunch. That's significant, but it really isn't in Bethel Park because we've always encouraged our children to take a fruit and a vegetable, and that should be just a seamless transition for them. There's daily requirements of those fruits and vegetables. There's dark green vegetables, there's red and orange vegetables, there's beans and peas. You see where this is going? I mean, this is very difficult to implement on a weekly basis. So what we've tried to do is we've instituted a 6-week cycle menu where the children will actually get the full benefit of everything, and we'll also be in compliance with all the guidelines. There's grains, the different breads that we're serving, different sizes. There's minimums and maximums for that. So again, that's all been designed through our local bakery, Schwabel's, that has helped us comply with these regulations. Over the next 10 years, there'll be sodium reductions in the lunches that, again, will gradually be implemented. The fat-free milk has already been implemented last year, so that's a seamless transition for the children. The lunch trays will look a little different this year. Again, fruits and vegetables will be the main concern for everyone. I've tried to make this as seamless as possible. We just opened up our beautiful food court at the high school, which we have great participation in. So I wanted the children or the students, when they come into the high school, not to see anything drastically different than making sure that they take a fruit and vegetable. The other guideline, or the other piece of information I wanted to present tonight is what's new in dining services. And this is, again, all this information is on the bpsd.org website under the Department of Food Service. Again, Vicki's been so kind to put it at the forefront so that if parents have a question about it, they can go right to it. But it lists everything, all the changes, it lists the school lunch prices, it lists the payment options for parents to pay online if they so desire. And the last bit of information that must be included at the beginning of each of our serving line is what is a meal, so that the children fully understand what they need to take. Along with the assistance of my staff, I presented the program to all of our teachers today so that they could help in implementation of that and make the children understand, especially on the elementary level. So, any questions for me?
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, I appreciate your time.
I'd like to take this opportunity too, though, to speak to the parents in the community, especially at our elementary level. We spoke to the teachers today to explain this program as well, so that there would not be so much of an emphasis on food rewards in the classroom. In addition to our concerns about childhood obesity, the incidence of diabetes among children in our schools, we have a tremendous number of children with some fairly severe food allergies. And we'd like to encourage the parents to consider, and I know this is a hard concept to grasp, rather than bringing in cupcakes and sweet treats for parties, birthday treats, that we consider non-food items as a treat to pass out to their peers. We hope that parents will be creative about those kinds of things, because that sweet ooey gooey cupcake may be something that's really lethal to some children in the classroom. And so we'd like you to consider those non-food items. If you absolutely insist that it has to be a food item, we'd strongly urge you to contact Mr. Consolmagno to find out if what is appropriate within those food guidelines. And I know that the Nutrition Services also provides party trays and things for students that are healthful fruit and vegetable snacks and those kinds of things that are an alternative to the unhealthy snacks that we've been feeding our kids. We need to get to a healthier place for our entire community, and we thank parents in advance for their support. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yes, I would like to add an item 7 under personnel. It is a resignation.
Anything else? Then I need a motion to adopt the agenda with that addition.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 8-0. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 28, 2012, and the business meeting minutes of August 7, 2012.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 8-0. I need to announce executive sessions held July 25th, 2012 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. August 7th, 2012 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. August 21st, 2012 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. And August 30th, 2012 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. Staff report, and no staff report tonight, thank you. Student government.
So as most of you know, homecoming is September 22nd this year. So this summer, student government has had meetings every single week during the summer, and we're almost done planning homecoming. So as usual, the Friday before, we're having the parade and the tailgate, and this year we're having something special for everyone at the game. There's going to be fireworks at the game. So we hope that all of you can make it, and yeah, it's basically all we've been doing, just working really hard, and it's been great. We've got a lot of extra volunteers from school that we got at the end of the year, so even people not in student government have been helping a lot, and it's been going great.
And we have clearances to do fireworks? All righty.
By someone.
I assume that has to be the fire marshal or somebody like that in the district, right? PTA, PTO council?
On behalf of all the PTAs and PTOs, we're looking forward to a great year. Everyone's getting ready for their open houses and ice cream socials and teddy bear picnics and coming back to school. And we're just getting ready and looking forward to a great year.
Thanks. So are we. Solicitor's report.
I will be filing a written report.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any committee reports? I think we had
Ms.
facilities.
We had a
meeting.
Facilities and Services Committee meeting on August 7th. Of course, there's no decision at those meetings. We had a pretty good update on the high school project and the work we were doing over there, and we had some discussions and preliminary drawings on the new or intention of a new, I think, facilities building for the maintenance department, and we sent that back to the drawing boards. We weren't quite happy with what was there, and so we're looking at alternates in that, but we'll look for another meeting pretty soon.
Thank you. Public comments on agenda items only. Do we have anyone who wants to speak to us on agenda items this evening? Seeing none, we'll move into business items. And Curriculum Committee, Mrs. Buckley.
Thank you, Mrs. Cook. We have 3 items on this evening for curriculum. Would anyone like any of those held? All right, then I would like to move number 1, the approval of curriculum, number 2, the 2012-2013 Title I and Title IIA, and number 3, the elementary after-school tutoring program.
Second.
Items 1 through 3 under Curriculum Committee have been moved by Mrs. Buckley and seconded by Mr. Sustage. Any questions or comments on any of these items?
Quick question on number 3. The funds for the Washington after-school tutoring, since they're not being covered by Title I or Title II, are they included in our budget?
Okay. This was an unexpected disapproval. We have Title II funds for salaries related to other categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to exchange monies out of one salary category and pay for the tutoring out of district funds that would ordinarily have gone for that salary.
So it will be covered within.
Yes, it's not additional. We're just taking it out of a different pocket.
Good.
Any other questions or comments on these items? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Personnel Committee and Mrs. Rule.
There are 7 items under personnel. Are there any that anyone would like to have held out? Okay, seeing none and hearing none, I move that we, 1, approval of substitutes, 2, approval of extra duty responsibility program, 3, acceptance of a resignation, 4, change of assignment, 5, appointment of personnel, and 6, approval administrative adjustment, and 7, acceptance of a resignation.
Second.
Items 1 through 7 under Personnel have been moved by Mrs. Rule and seconded by Mr. Sustridge. Any questions or comments on any of these items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. I would like to make note that we just hired a new principal for William Penn Elementary School, and I believe she is here this evening.
She is. And Dr. Stark, would you like to either sit there or come to the microphone, whatever is your pleasure, and introduce Nicole Morris to our
I would be
audience?
very, very, very happy to do that. Ms. Morris has come through a very grueling process. We had wonderful candidates, and she rose right to the top. She has a bachelor's in special education, a master's in K-12 leadership. Her background is in special education instruction, and then she was a K-12 special education principal previously for one of the IUs. She has been for the last 2 years an assistant to the superintendent in another school district, and is very, very, very eager to come back to the building level administration with students and teachers. So she comes with lots of good experiences, and we're very, very glad to have her in Bethel Park.
Nicole, would you like to say a word or two at the microphone?
Opportunity. I've been very impressed with the district and your administrative team and the board, and I just want to thank you. And I think I see one of my students in the crowd. Is that right? So I'll see you in a couple weeks, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Facilities and Services Committee and Mr. Sustridge.
Find my list here. There are actually only 2 items under Facilities and Services. Anybody like either item separate? Hearing none, I'd like to move the following. Item 1, approval of change orders for the high school project. I am going to delineate these. Change order GC042. This is the addition to the synthetic fields. This is to Mascaro Construction in the amount of $439,168.16. Change order GC043 to Mascaro Construction in the amount of $87,266.78, and that's number of modifications and changes to the building and final payments on some projects. Change order EL023 is installation and power for the new field lights to Callista Electric in the amount of $116,468. And finally, item number 2 is the approval for the sale of some district vehicles that are no longer used. Correct, Matt? This would be a total sale in the amount of $43,550.
Second.
Items 1 and 2 under Facilities and Services Committee have been moved by Mr. Sustridge and seconded by Mr. Spacuzza. Any questions or comments on any of these items? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Finance Committee, and I need someone to take that for me this evening. Mr. Spacuzza, will you take that one in addition to your thing?
Yes, I will. Seeing 14 items under the Finance Committee this evening, would anyone like any of them held out separately? Hearing none, I will move the following items. Item number 1, July and August salaries and bills. Item number 2, June 2012 financial report. Item number 3, July 2012 financial report. Item number 4, awarding of conveyor gas ovens and heated insulated cabinet bid. Item number 5, approval of the purchase of information technology equipment. Item number 6, fuel contract with the AIU. Item number 7, items declared unused and unnecessary. Item number 8, approval of student services contracts. Item number 9, approval of out-of-district special education students cross-district agreements. Item number 10, waterfront learning services, the AIU agreement. Item number 11, approval of the purchase of classroom furniture. Item number 12, approval of the installation project of Everraise dry erase. Okay. These glasses must not be any good anymore.
Now, those are tough words.
It's not the eyes, of course, it's the glasses.
Glasses keep changing.
Item number 13, awarding of the musical instrument bid. And finally, item number 14, approval of the school resource officer. Excuse me.
I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Items 1 through 14 under Finance Committee have been moved by Mr. Spikuza and seconded by Mr. Amonitz. Any questions or comments on these items?
Question on number 4. Just to refresh my memory, please, is why this wasn't taken out of the cafeteria fund?
I think there wasn't that much in the cafeteria fund, but I think we did this, the cafeteria fund, yeah.
It's fine.
I have a question on 14. Since we hired Mr. Modrak to be a full-time employee in the district, this is a school resource officer to be $50,000 appointed by the police department. Is that still within the budget, considering we already have Mr. Modrak on board?
Yes, that item was budgeted for next year.
Okay.
This is so we have really two, like.
Yeah, I know we planned that, but I don't remember whether it actually got into the budget when
Gotcha.
Mr. Modrak came to us. It kind of got lost for a little while there. Okay.
I did have a question on that dry erase board. Did we ever find out warranty information? Someone had asked that at the committee meeting, whether there was warranty information on.
Dr. Stark was able to look it up on
Oh,
her iPad that
That's
night.
right, you did. Okay. Thank you. I just remembered somebody had a question on that night. I made a note. Any other questions or comments on finance items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. And now moving on to Policy Committee and continuing with Mr. Spikuza.
Thank you, Mrs. Cook. There are 3 items on the Policy Committee agenda tonight. These are the approval of the policy for concussion management, third and final reading, approval of the policy, second and final reading of educational use of student-owned technology devices, and item number 3, a policy revision, second and final reading of the electronic devices policy.
Second.
Items 1 through 3 under Policy Committee have been moved by Mr. Spikuza and seconded by Mr. Sustage. Any discussion, questions, comments on these items?
I have a question.
Mr. Means.
On the concussion policy, if somebody violates the policy, there's a required suspension with the first time. Does that allow for due process for the individual who's going to be suspended?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd also like to comment on the final reading for our student policy on student-owned technology devices. Although we are passing this policy with the second and final reading, it will not go into effect until sometime around mid-October, so that we have the opportunity to convene the disciplinary committee to add sections to the policy regarding the consequences for violation of that policy.
Will you be bringing that back to us again once
You will reapprove that portion of the policy.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those carry 8-0. Other, Mr. Amonitz, will you take other for me this evening?
I will, yes. We have 2 items under other. We have change of December 2012 board meeting dates, and number 2, change to the approved 2013 board meeting dates. Would any of those held out for discussion? Hearing none, I move items number 1 and 2.
Second. Items 1 and 2 under other have been moved by Mr. Amonitz and seconded by Mrs. Buckley. Any questions or comments on these items?
Just to comment on them, I don't know what the public has out there, and instead of trying to explain it, I'll just read what each of them has. Item 1 is the Board of Directors approves the administration's recommendation to change the December 4th, 2012 board meeting to reorganization meeting. Only that will begin at 6:30 p.m. and added a combined regular voting meeting to the December 11th, 2012 meeting beginning at 8 p.m. The date change will be posted on the administration building and advertised in the newspaper at the appropriate time. And the second one will read that the Board of School Directors approves the administration's recommendation to change the 2013 board meetings. The committee meetings will be now held on the third Tuesday of each month, where formal action may be taken by the board at these meetings. The regular and voting meeting will be held on the fourth Tuesday of each month. All board meetings, committee and regular voting meetings will begin at 8 p.m. and are held in the community room unless otherwise notified. The date change will be posted at the administration building and advertised in the newspaper at the appropriate time.
So there are basically two major changes. One, we just are adding a regular voting meeting in December in addition to our reorganization meeting. And two, we are changing our regular voting meetings, monthly meetings, to the fourth Tuesday of the month beginning in January 2013. So we'll be on a Tuesday cycle then. Any questions or comments on these two items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. We are now to the portion of public comments on anything you wish to address the board about. Does anyone? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Tom Majernik, 5460 Glen Hill Drive. Here tonight to talk about the lack of a contract for the teachers. And that's a major concern for me. We have a $100 million building over there, around that, with all the expenses. It's no good without any quality teachers. Okay? As a result of this $100 million building, our taxes have gone up. Okay? We've cut programs. My children now have to pay fees to join a club and play sports. You've cut teaching positions. Now, I understand funding has always been an issue. And the federal stimulus money that you guys are relying on, you knew it was going to go away. You should have...
We didn't budget that.
It was stimulus... Okay. You knew it was going to go away.
And we budgeted accordingly, correct?
Same thing with the pension problem. I keep hearing this is the big problem is the pension. Well, you knew that 10 years ago that this pension issue was on the rise. You should have planned for it. Okay? Look, I read through all the fact-finding reports, and it's my take that the teachers have the kids' best interest in mind. My take on the board view is that you're worried about the money. That's what I took from the fact-finding reports. Now, in the past 6 months, we've hired 2 central administration positions, opened and hired, for over $100,000 each, and we have given a raise to our superintendent. Almost $250,000, and we still don't have a teacher contract. So I implore you as a board, do what you need to do to get this contract done. I understand that we were this close to a contract recently, and the board is stonewalled. Okay? That doesn't make me happy. My children are nervous about the school year to begin with. And now they don't know if they're going to be on strike, if there's going to be a work stoppage. Now, if there is a work stoppage, I will make sure, I'll voice my voice very clearly as I have tonight. I blame you, the board, not the teachers. Okay? So again, I'm very disappointed. This is the second time I've come before the board in the past 3 years asking for the same thing. Sit down, get the contract done. The teachers have the kids' best interest in mind, so should you. Don't make my children suffer anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
On the new meeting dates, it says at the committee meeting that the formal action may be taken.
That's correct. At any of our committee meetings, it's always been that way. Correct.
Usually, someone will say or it'll be on the website that
If there's going to be a formal action taken.
no change.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Brenda Pacor, 3224 Arapahoe Road. I wanted to make a comment as well regarding the contract situation. Yes, we have a new high school. No, it did not cost $100 million. Yes, we need good teachers in it, regardless of what the building is, regardless of whether we have a contract or don't have a contract. We have the same teachers. That doesn't make any difference. During the strike, there were certainly a large portion of the community that would have liked to have fired all the teachers and had new ones, but that obviously is not going to happen, nor do I personally believe that would be in the best interest of the community. But I just wanted to point out that it is a false statement to indicate that the high school is why we don't have a contract. It has nothing to do with it. As you know, I attend these board meetings and have for years and years and years. It's not my second time in 3 years. I've been here on a regular basis. And I know that you have been planning for the PEASers and have been budgeting towards that. It isn't news to you. It's news maybe in the newspapers. You've been adding towards that on a regular basis, thank goodness, because I don't know what would happen to those districts that haven't planned for it. God help them. Hopefully the state will help them in some manner. However, PEASers is certainly something that we should all be looking at as community members, as voters, as school board members. It's not a sustainable entity, and that needs to be addressed through our legislators. Personally, I've met with, and actually I have a meeting coming up with one of our representatives, and I've met with Representative Smith regarding strike-free education for the students of Pennsylvania. I see no reason why our students should ever be subjected to a strike. It should not be part of the bargaining process. It's not part of the process in 38 other states. Pennsylvania is certainly lagging behind there. I and other community members are working with individuals, taxpayers, parents, board members across the state of Pennsylvania, trying to get our legislators to step up to put the children first. Why would you not have strike-free education? A strike in no way benefits the children. It's using the children as a pawn, and it needs to stop. Right now, our legislators have not stepped up to stop it. They've not passed the legislation that they should, in my opinion, pass to give our children a strike-free education. Therefore, you guys are our last line of defense. In the past, strikes have been rewarded. Teachers have been rewarded by going on strike. They go on strike, they get more money. It's up to you to make sure that they're not rewarded until we can get legislation passed where strikes are made illegal and banned from the state of Pennsylvania. It's up to you to hold the line and say, you strike 6 weeks, no one got a quality education in 2010-11 with teachers out for 6 weeks. If there's a strike, it penalizes the students. No way should teachers be rewarded, or should teacher unions be rewarded with raises for a year in which they've walked out on the students. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll move into board comments, and Mr. Means.
I really don't have too much to say. I'm just looking forward to a good year and a successful year, and hopefully everything goes well and all our academic standards are met.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Spicuzza.
It's a very, very limited amount I don't have much voice left, so I'm not going to say too much, but I want to welcome back all the students, teachers, and administrators, and just keep up the good work, and let's move forward.
Thank you. Mrs. Buckley.
Thank you, Mrs. Cook. I'd like to wish the students and the professionals in the district a happy year, and to Mrs. McLaughlin, you're going to be missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Roll.
Last week, I want to talk about a visit that we had last week at the school. Steel Center teachers were boarded onto a school bus by their director, and he didn't tell them where they were going. He just told them that they were going to get on this yellow school bus and proceed forward. He wanted them to feel the anxiety that our students who leave our school and go to their school knew, not knowing what to expect, all the anxiety levels. So he put them through the ropes. we met them at the door when they came to our high school, and they were just so excited about that. It was great that they came and visited their faculty and the administrators. And he did send me an email thanking us, and he said that they felt just great about the warm reception, and they loved our beautiful building and thought that it had a lot to offer, and they were pleased that we would host them. So, and I also want to wish Jackie well. Going to miss you.
Mr. Sustich.
First of all, the easy one, welcome everybody back. I hope we have a good school year. I hope the Blackhawks go to the playoffs this year. Be a nice thing to have. I just wanted to, and normally don't address a lot of comments in reflecting what the audience did, but I just wanted to just make one clarification. The stimulus money that we got from the federal government, we knew it was a limited amount of time. We planned for that. What no school district in Pennsylvania planned for was not the loss of stimulus, it was the loss of state funding afterward that threw most districts into trouble. I can tell you, we knew the stimulus would go away. It was in the budget. It was taken out of the budget when it should have been. It was the cutbacks that came afterward that probably could have knocked us in a lot deeper position. We didn't really cut programs. We eliminated, we furloughed we eliminated one third grade strings program, and we furloughed a 1/2 of a teacher. Everything else was by retirement. So we didn't let people go. The only program we cut was the strings program. So we were planning for that. The PSERS thing, we have been putting money ahead of schedule in PSERS for, 10 years? How many? 4 years. We are ahead of the program. So we had a cushion in there. We are pretty well prepared for PSERS. If we didn't do that, we'd be in a lot worse shape. So we have been looking forward at it. The only thing I can say is if you want to call the governor, like some of us have been doing, and try and get more money and try and restore some of the things we need to get back, that would help. Because, frankly, I don't know what Harrisburg's thinking, but they keep pulling the rug out from under us year after year after year. And we can plan for a lot of things, but we can't plan for that which can't be predicted. So.
Thank you. Dr. Campbell, would you like to make any comments this evening?
Congratulations also to be included with Jackie and Bob on just an incredible job well done. And certainly wish you the best of wishes on her new endeavors. And what an incredible legacy of service she had known to the board, particularly to the district. And I also think that also we have a new school year, and I'm always optimistic at the end of the promise at the beginning of the new year. We do have a lot of big decisions coming forward, and as a board member and a new board member, I'd like to comment that the board, just my observations of each and every individual board member gives incredible scrutiny and attention, truly tired tires to the community and their service, and they truly want to do the best they can to be equitable, fair, but fiscally responsible, so they be responsible for everybody in the district.
Thank you. Mr. Amiditz.
Yes, I normally don't address all the comments from the audience all the time either, but this time I feel I have to. And first I want to say that any tax increases that were initiated for the new building were initiated long before any strike or talk of strike, or long before the contract talks came up. The second thing was addressed by Mr. Sustich with the stimulus funds and the furloughs, and that they had no new bearing on a new high school as well, and you addressed the other issues for that. Third thing I wanted to say is that the final decision, no matter how you look at it, to strike will be in the hands of the teachers. If they decide to strike, that will ultimately be their decision, no matter how you decide to look at it, but they have to take that vote. And lastly, I can say with 100% certainty that the goal of the district is not simply to save funds. And I'll just leave it at that. And the other comments, and just as everybody else said, on a much lighter note, welcome back to school, everybody. Welcome to our new principal, and Jackie, we're going to be sad to see you go. I hope everybody has a good school year.
Thank you, sir. I was able to attend our new teacher induction on Tuesday and meet our new teachers who are coming into the district, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and new ideas, and that's great. Then I was able to attend our in-service today with our returning staff members and welcome them back and thank them for agreeing to work under the terms of their current expired or 05 to 10 contract, I guess. And we do appreciate that. We are continuing to negotiate and negotiate in good faith. It's not an easy process, and the state has made it a much more difficult process for us on the local level. Far greater amounts of information than I could ever begin to explain at this point right now, but as I told the teachers today, I think it's a scary time for public education in the state of Pennsylvania overall. Not to diminish the fact that we have a new principal coming in, so I shouldn't probably be saying those things as I welcome her again to the district. Jackie, what can I say? You're going to come back, so that's what I'll say. I'll see ya. And I welcome everyone back, as I got to welcome our new teachers and our returning staff today. I welcome everyone, our students and our parents, and I wish us all a wonderful, complete school year. I need a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm John Bauer, and I'm here to talk about sudden cardiac arrest. Heart disease, including sudden cardiac arrest, is the nation's #1 killer. Sudden cardiac arrest happens when the heart suddenly stops beating. This may be from a heart attack or a number of other causes. Whatever the cause, without immediate action, the sufferer will die. You can take action against sudden cardiac arrest. If you see someone suddenly collapse and it looks like they aren't breathing normally, you need to act immediately. First call 911 or your local emergency number. Then start immediate chest compressions. Place your hands in the middle of the chest and begin to push forcefully and rapidly, at least 100 times a minute. If anyone else is nearby, have them relieve you after 2 minutes. Keep taking turns. If you're in a public place, ask someone to get an AED. When it arrives, open it up and follow the voice instructions. Don't stop chest compressions until the AED tells you to. Keep going until rescuers arrive. Sudden cardiac arrest is survivable if immediate action is taken. You can make a difference. To learn more or to learn CPR, contact Tri-Community South EMS at 412-831-3710. Be a lifesaver. Learn CPR.
illegal is illegal, and that's what we have to take care of at the border. Why don't they put blimps up? I think one of the issues is flying airplanes is going to cost money. So I'd throw out, put a blimp up there, run blimps from both sides of the fence line, and they run probably at a
How can Mr. Bold have it so wrong? That is one of the worst ideas I have ever heard. Wait, what's this story? Military surveillance blimps tested at the Texas-Mexico border? Bold had it right all along. Oh man, never gonna hear the end of this one.
Good morning, this is Mr. Bold calling for Mr. Dave Cable. Back in 2006, Mr. Bold was on Bethel Park right now, and if Mr. Bold recalls correctly, he was poo-pooed by Mr. Dave Cable back in 2006 for really being a wacko when it comes to suggesting blimps along the border. I told you back then that I hoped that I never saw anything official using the word blimp. Well, much to my enjoyment, the word blimp has been used in an official article when they talk about patrolling the borders. It's unfortunate that Bethel Park doesn't have any billboards because Mr. Bold would be looking for some type of public apology from Mr. Dave Cable regarding his poo-pooing of the suggestion of using blimps to patrol the borders. I await your call. Thank you.
I deserve that.
Her parents weren't even sure she'd make it to her 5th birthday. But because someone like you took the time to give their unique gift of blood, this little girl was given a second chance at life. Help save the life of someone right here in Western Pennsylvania. To find a nearby location where you can donate blood, visit centralbloodbank.org or call 1-866-DONORS1.
Illegal is illegal, and that's what we have to take care of it at the border. Why don't they put blimps up? I think one of the issues is flying airplanes is going to cost money. So I'd throw out, put a blimp up there, run blimps from both sides of the fence line, and they run probably at a...
How can Mr. Bold have it so wrong? That is one of the worst ideas I have ever heard. Wait, what's this story? Military surveillance blimps tested at the Texas-Mexico border? Bold had it right all along. Oh man, I'm never gonna hear the end of this one.
Good morning, this is Mr. Bold calling for Mr. Dave Cable. Back in 2006, Mr. Bold was on Bethel Park right now, and if Mr. Bold recalls correctly, he was poo-pooed by Mr. Dave Cable back in 2006 for really being a wacko when it comes to suggesting blimps along the border. I told you back then that I hoped that I never saw anything official using the word blimp. Well, much to my enjoyment, the word blimp has been used in an official article when they talk about patrolling the borders. It's unfortunate that Bethel Park doesn't have any billboards because Mr. Bold would be looking for some type of public apology from Mr. Dave Cable regarding his poo-pooing of the suggestion of using blimps to patrol the borders. I await your call. Thank you.
I deserve that.
Hi, I'm John Bauer, and I'm here to talk about sudden cardiac arrest. Heart disease, including sudden cardiac arrest, is the nation's #1 killer. Sudden cardiac arrest happens when the heart suddenly stops beating. This may be from a heart attack or a number of other causes. Whatever the cause, without immediate action, the sufferer will die. You can take action against sudden cardiac arrest. If you see someone suddenly collapse and it looks like they aren't breathing normally, you need to act immediately. First call 911 or your local emergency number. Then start immediate chest compressions. Place your hands in the middle of the chest and begin to push forcefully and rapidly, at least 100 times a minute. If anyone else is nearby, have them relieve you after 2 minutes. Keep taking turns. If you're in a public place, ask someone to get an AED. When it arrives, open it up and follow the voice instructions. Don't stop chest compressions until the AED tells you to. Keep going until rescuers arrive. Sudden cardiac arrest is survivable if immediate action is taken. You can make a difference. To learn more or to learn CPR, contact Tri-Community South EMS at 412-831-3710. Be a lifesaver. Learn CPR.